Hi everyone, this is Bill from Minding Your Mental Health. My channel is about videos covering a wide range of topics for those who struggle with mental health or mental illness. Please take a look at my other videos, and if you find them helpful, consider subscribing. In this video, I'd like to address something pretty serious. I'd like to talk about self-harm. I will go over what self-harm really is, who does it, and why, and possible treatment options that are available. When we think of self-harm, usually it's cutting that we think of that is the most common method. The most common way is actually something called dermatillomania, which is a disorder where someone scratches or picks at their skin. I'll get into that later on in the video. My intention is not to judge, stereotype, or classify self-harming people. The most common personality of a self-harmer is someone who hasn't secured an attachment to someone at a young age, whether it's a parent or guardian or anyone in general who's supposed to take care of you. Forming an attachment to someone at a young age is very important because this is how we learn to form relationships later on in life. As human beings, we all have needs. When these needs are met, we are content, we're happy, we're safe, we're secure. We learn how to trust people, we learn how to be comfortable. Generally, there's a lack of comfort for people who self-harm. Without comfort, the self-harmer doesn't know who to talk to, who to trust. The belief of the self-harmer is that they have nobody, or they don't want to be a burden or bother anyone. That their feelings and emotions are insignificant and not to be shared or discussed with anyone. There's a feeling of loneliness. If there's little or no support at a young age, this makes it really difficult to make friends and to cultivate the friendships a self-harmer may already have. Self-harm releases fear, it releases tension. When there is physical pain, it is an immediate focus for the moment. It allows escape from what is going on mentally and emotionally. It's a method to express emotions, it's a method to cope. Other reasons someone might intentionally hurt themselves can be to punish themselves because they might feel guilty or shameful about something, for control, although this is more like an illusion of control since you cannot really control the pain. When someone is cutting or self-harming who has severe depression, it's something that takes away the numbing feeling. When we feel pain, there are chemicals that are released to make us feel good. A rush of adrenaline and dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter that controls the pleasure center in our brain, makes us feel good. This is why self-harm can be addictive, especially in people who have low dopamine levels to begin with. Self-harm is most common among girls and women, but it also happens to boys and men, just it's less frequently discussed, I guess, because it's less talked about or maybe guys are ashamed. I used to self-harm when I was in junior high. At the time I didn't know it was self-harming though, I just thought I was carving things on my arm. I didn't intend to hurt myself, but it was a distraction from what was going on at the time, which was getting bullied, getting made fun of, and things like that. Self-harm is not necessarily someone who is trying to kill themselves. They're just trying to escape from the mental trauma for the moment and focus on a physical manifestation of their mental anguish. It's simply a form of distraction. The main goal to overcome self-harm is distraction. There are many other constructive ways to distract yourself. You can take a walk, get out of the house, take the dog to the park, play video games, anything to move away from self-destructive thoughts to a place of distraction. As long as you can distract yourself from harming yourself, that's the goal. I mentioned earlier in the video that dermatillomania was the most common method for self-harming. While other common methods, choking, it's not always cutting, although cutting is a major form of self-harm, but anything that you do to yourself to inflict pain or to inflict injury on yourself is self-harm. Another disorder related to self-harming comparable to dermatillomania is hair pulling. This is known as trichotillomania. If you're worried about someone who is self-harming, please just listen to what they have to say. Just as with any mental issue, it's really important not to be judgmental. Find out why this person is hurting themselves. What is the reason behind it? Explain to the person that it's okay to talk about it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. This is a coping method for people who struggle with mental and emotional issues. Some people might drink, some people might do drugs, some people self-harm. None of which are really constructive ways to deal with mental anguish, but it's how they do. Consider speaking to the person about therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, has been proven helpful to find out the reason for self-harming. Once the root of the problem is addressed, it is much easier to stop the behavior. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Please take care of yourselves and always be minding your mental health.